Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to You're the Batman. And since we did do a show just now of an older Bruce Wayne, before I went on to the next series, I wanted to go over The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2. So, Part 1's today, Part 2's tomorrow. These two movies I absolutely adore. This might not be like a Bruce Wayne that's like I mean, I would still say he's a good person. Um, but I mean, this Batman is a fucking kick ass Batman. I mean, God bless. This is something else. So the beginning, it starts off. Bruce Wayne, he is in a race car. He's doing some kind of race, and he's pushing the car past its limit, and he ends up crashing. But he gets away scot free. He like barely escapes in the nick of time. So later that night, him and Gordon are talking, and he essentially is doing that kind of stuff just for the thrill of it. I think he misses the danger. He misses the action. He misses like all the excitement. But he's retired now, and he's been retired for like 10 years, and Gordon's actually about to retire himself. So these two are reminiscing over times over the years. Unfortunately, Gotham City is like at an all time crime wave, mostly in part to a group called the Mutants. They're just these thugs that, like, they don't even, uh, like, if they're going after a mugging, they don't even care about the wallet. They just want to cause harm. Like, it's kind of just like a shit ton of jokers, really. I mean, not as effective, but in kind of the same realm. Like, they don't really have morals. They just like are causing chaos for shits and giggles. So the leader has been threatening Gordon over and over and over, saying like he's the law of the land and Gordon's gonna die. And yeah, it's Gotham City's not looking too good. Meanwhile, at that time, Harvey Dent has at Arkham City or not Arkham Asylum. He has gone through a very hard medical procedure to fully heal his face. So instead of being Two Face, he is now completely good. So he's getting like he had his own like press conference, and he showed to the audience he had a coin, and instead of like the X on the one side, it was just a regular coin. But immediately after that, he escaped his not necessarily handlers, but his supervision. So everybody's like, "Oh, okay, he's probably gonna go back to crime immediately." I'll also say this movie, I don't want to get too into it, but there's a lot of political stuff in there, and it just like critiques. I don't want to get too much into it. But it's better if you kind of like watch the subtleties yourself, especially in like the news broadcasts and like the interviews. There's a lot of good golden nuggets in there, and I won't say anything about sides and whatnot, but it's very well done. Like on surface level, you're like, what is this adding to the story? But like it does tremendously. Everything in this movie, there's like a purpose to it, and I just really love it. So after Bruce is done talking to Gordon, he's on his way home, and two mutants are like about to mug him, and he's not having it. He's like, come on, fucking do it. Like, and one of them's like, God, dude, he's into it. I can't, I can't do this if he's into it. So they both scatter, and then you see this really beautiful shot of like a headlamp or like a street lamp with like an insect going towards it over and over. And then Bruce looks down and he sees a paper of a family that recently got murdered, and apparently the mom had like a set of pearls on her, and it's just like It's literally shouting at you, but I'm telling you, it's a moth to a flame. Like Bruce wants to go there so bad. He wants to help. He wants to get back out there. So later that night, he's watching the news, and I mean, he hears that like Harvey recently disappeared. Nobody knows what happened to him. He hears like the mutants are even getting more reckless and they're starting to kill children now. And he has like a little bit of a panic attack because he like remembers the night where his own parents got shot. So he like fumbles out of the mansion, pushing like a fucking huge ass stone statue over. Which I will say, this Bruce is a fucking unit. Like I would say toe to toe, he could beat the shit out of Ben Affleck's Batman. I mean, this is a Batman that's like, I mean, he really is a unit, like an absolute unit. So he has like this vision of like this bat, which it symbolizes Batman coming after him, and he's like, "You're weak, you can't escape me. I'll always be there with you." So he does once again don the Batman attire, and when like one of his first nights, he gets out. You notice this is a Batman that does not fuck around. I mean, he is breaking limbs. He's like using his batarangs as knives. He's throwing people into electrified signs. He's causing car crashes that would almost certainly kill people. But he still is doing the no kill rule. He's just being a lot more vicious with it. Like, this is a Batman that isn't. I mean, he's holding back just at the no kill rule, and that's it. Like, everything else is fair play. So, throughout the night, at one point, we run into Michelle and her one friend, Carrie Kelly, who Carrie Kelly turns into the next Robin by the end of this movie. Which I don't really have too much of an opinion on Carrie. As far as I can recollect, this movie and the next movie are like the only times I ever see her. I don't really read many comics with her in it, and she's not as exposed that much. I mean, she's fun. I like her. It is crazy though that she's only 13. I looked up her age to see how old she was, and they said in this interpretation she's only supposed to be 13 years old, which I'm like, I know this sounds icky and I hate saying it, but she's a lot more mature for her age. Like she doesn't feel like a 13-year-old. Like with how much like good she wants to do, I don't know, it's just she seems older, I'll say. But yeah, so her and her friend run into some mutants, and Batman shows up, and Batman beats the absolute dog shit out of these guys. I mean, at one point, one of the criminals, he like raises his arm to strike, and you have batarang, 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 like four pierce his entire arm, and then there's like a shot of him just beating the absolute fuck out of another guy when like the flash of a gun going off is illuminating that, and then you have him like picking up a thug and then throwing him into electrified sign, like, and the one friend is like, holy shit, and then Carrie's like, holy shit. Like, she's really into it, like, damn, that was cool. Also, great name, Carrie Kelly, love the alliteration. um but yeah, later in the night, Bruce is going after this one car of thugs that just robbed a bank, and there's one cop, like an older cop and a younger cop. They're going after him, and the older cop is notified by the younger cop, "Hey, what the fuck is that up in the sky?" And the older cop sees Batman, so he actively chooses to slow down the car chase. And the younger cop's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And he's like, "Don't worry, you're in for a great show now," which it feels very reminiscent to uh, The Dark Knight Rises, which I have my thoughts on that one. It it feels like The Dark Knight Rises feels a lot like it's trying to be The Dark Knight Returns, but that's for a whole other day. I don't know. Talking about a much better movie right now. So Batman, he ends up flipping the car, causing a car crash. A fucking miracle. Everybody lived through that. And then he's like picking the not the cops. He's picking the thugs off one by one, and eventually he finds a coin with both sides having an X on it. So he's like, "Oh shit! I think Two Face is hurting himself. Like we gotta find him again." So he calls Gordon, and they're doing some research together, and it is really cool. They're they're talking because one of the thugs, he's like saying how he's okay, it's fine. He's saying how like he's gonna press charges and whatnot, and Gordon's like, "Okay, you're free to go. I don't care. You're good." So he calls Bruce and he's like, "Hey, just letting you know that one thug you turned in, we're letting him go. So there you go." So the thug goes back to the headquarters, but everybody cleared out because they know Batman is coming for him. So uh, when he gets there, he gets assaulted by Batman and like tries to get in on Two Face's plot. So later on, Two Face eventually he gets a gang together to take over like the Gotham Towers, and he is giving them 22 minutes to give him $22 million, or the two towers will explode. And you have this awesome fight scene of Batman fighting on one of the towers, and he's taking out the goons one by one, like through a smokestack. And part of that smoke, I swear it has a bit of fear gas in it because one guy is freaking the fuck out, and he's like sees Batman as this like absolute unit of a monster. So Batman, he's able to disable one of the bombs with like a cryo weapon, which it makes you think that he's using like weapons of villain past. Like it feels like he was using Mr. Freeze's tech. It feels like he was using Scarecrow's tech. I could be wrong, but that's what it felt like to me. So then there's this really cool scene of Batman. He shoots a sniper rifle to the next side of the building to create a tightrope, and while brandishing that gun, he's running on the tightrope like it's nothing. And then Two Face and his gang, they're up in a helicopter about to take off, and Two Face, he shoots Batman square in the chest, and Batman falls off. But then Batman is able to shoot the harpoon to perfectly pierce the helicopter, and the helicopter dips a little, causing Two Face to fall. So Batman catches them, and they go into a building, and the helicopter with the other bomb on it explodes. It didn't kill anybody because the whole plan, Two Face, he didn't set he like set the timer ahead of time because he just wanted this to be a huge grand finale. And it turns out like in his head he thought the doctors fucked up the good side of his face. So to him he saw deformed. And it's just like damn. So Batman catches him, but the problem still is persisting with the mutants. They're getting more aggressive, so he has to figure out a way to stop them. So during all this, like as the time is progressing, Carrie Kelly, she orders herself a Robin costume, and she's like training herself, like trying to get better at gymnastics and running and jumping and like protecting people from mutants. Like she's putting in the work, I will say. Which is funny. Her hippie parents are just like it's funny that she has hippie parents and she's like, yeah, I want to be a mini Batman. um, so some more crime happens. Batman figures out by interrogating one of the thugs that like an old army general has been supplying the mutants, and he's given them an absolute stockpile of weaponry. So Batman confronts him about it, and he says, "Yeah, your career is pretty much ruined because he did that because his wife was dying, and I guess the army wouldn't like give her like help out. So he turned to them to get some more money. And Batman called him out on it, and he just leaves him alone. And then he fucking kills himself. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, so you're just gonna leave your dying wife alone? Holy shit, dude. Um, so Batman does some even more interrogations, and he figures out where the mutant headquarters is. So he goes. He calls it the Batmobile, but this motherfucking thing is straight up a bat tank. So he comes charging into the dump where all the mutants are with rubber bullets galore and bean bags, and he's like taking out fucking everybody. And Carrie's along the ride too. She's just kind of following him because she overheard mutants talking that there was a huge meetup at the dump. So she's following the bat tank at a distance while it is just absolutely annihilating everything. So the tank comes up to. How much time do I have left? Okay. So I should probably charge this. That's fine. I'll hurry this up. The tank comes and the guy's like, "Hey, fuck you, Batman. You need to." All right, this is actually gonna drive me nuts. I think the phone will die on me if I don't do something. So, bit of a different thing. Okay, there we go. Okay, so um, I already lost my train of thought. So yeah, the one leader of the mutants, he comes out, and it kind of looks like a combination of if Bane and Killer Croc had a baby, like the Gray Killer Croc from the animated series. So I mean, he's just this big hulking figure, fucking massive nipples, like like this big nipple, very pointy too. This motherfucker could put somebody's eyes out with his nipples. Like nails for teeth, like razor sharp, or I mean nails for claws, razor sharp teeth. Like he looks like a monster. So he calls out Batman. He's like, "Hey, you think you're so great in your tank? You won't even kill anybody. Why don't you come out here and face me like a man? You jerk." Is this thing upside down? What the hell? I think I fucked it up. Oh no, this is gonna look so awkward. Oh shit, yeah. Okay, this is bad. Okay, here we go. This should be better. I'm not redoing this whole fucking video otherwise. So yeah, so Batman and the mutant leader, they get into this big fight. Batman definitely bit off more than he can chew because he definitely gets his ass handed to, and it comes to the end where like the mutant leader, he's like beating the shit out of Batman with a crowbar, which it's heavily implied that that happened the same way as Jason, which is just like Jesus Christ. So then Carrie steps in, and he like, or she like just like goes straight for the eyes and like tries to blind him, and Batman, he like takes something from his utility belt and essentially just like throws putty right on his face, which is like acts like a glue. So I'm surprised he genuinely didn't die from suffocation. Holy shit, I can't talk. Um, so Carrie, she pulls Batman back into the Bat Tank and takes him uh, takes him to the Bat Cave. And during the way back, Bruce reveals himself to be Bruce Wayne, and Carrie, it's really neat. She's like, "I'm Carrie Kelly," and then she like immediately corrects herself and she says Robin. And I'm just like, yeah, you kind of earned that title, girl. Like, I mean, you put in the work, and then when the time came to it, like, you went up to a big bad without any aid from Batman and like saved the day. Like, Batman 100% would have died if you didn't step in. So Bruce, he goes back to the Batcave and has this like a mental pep talk with himself, going to the part of the Batcave where he encounters a bat, which it's more symbolic. He's like telling the Batman version of himself that he's not done with him yet. So he then fabricates a plan because he's like, I tried to beat him with savagery, but that's my mistake. I need to beat him with smarts. So, Carrie, I have an assignment for you. We'll start training tomorrow, but you have to do this, and if you don't do it how I tell you exactly how to do it, you're fired. And she's like, yeah, okay. So Carrie, she disguises herself as a mutant, and she's telling everybody to meet at the like an open drain at a turnpike. So she does that. She tells all the gang members that, and Bruce is like, "All right, you're done for the night." So Gordon, he meets up with Bruce, and he's supposed to let the guy go, just like open up a cell door and let him find his way out. Also, before this though, um, there's supposed to be a negotiation with the mayor and the mutant leader, and the mutant leader fucking eats his head off. Like, it's fucking brutal. Which I don't know why he wasn't handcuffed, why there wasn't an armed guard in there. Like, he's just in an interrogation room, and they're like, "All right, go into the lions, then, Mister Mayor. You got this." Which is just like, no. Why did you do that? Like, it feels like you just wanted to execute him. Um. So uh, so Gordon does exactly as Batman says. He like releases the criminal, and he has to get out through a certain way until eventually he leads to like where a drain comes out to where all the mutants are surrounding him. So as he's about to exit, Batman comes in from behind and tackles him into the muddy water, and he's like, "Oh, what the hell are you doing? You're slow for your age." And Batman's like, "True, but everybody's slow when you're thick deep in mud," which I'm like, "Okay, that's a pretty good line." So then Batman, he turns the table on him. I mean, if you watch the fight, it's a really good fight. The mutant leader, he's focused more so on power, and then Batman's more focused on technique. All his punches have like that precision and that meaning to it. At one point, he punches him, and he can't even use his arm anymore. And at another point, he like cuts him right above the eye, so he's like constantly worrying about the blood getting into his eye. And then at the end, this fight gets so brutal. He's like, "I don't think you understand. This is an arena. It's an operating table, and I'm the surgeon." And then he breaks his other arm, and then he breaks his other leg, and then he beats the dog shit out of him. And at the end, all the mutants, they decide to follow Batman instead. So now they, instead of the mutants, they're now referring to themselves as the Sons of Batman. Um, and now there's these news reports of like pro Batman, anti Batman, and you just keep hearing Batman, Batman, Batman. And then in the asylum, you see like a brain dead Joker slowly come to, and he's like, "Batman, darling." And then the credits roll, and it's so good. It's just like, oh my god, I love this movie so much. Like this is Batman at a badassery at his most. Like I really think he's more badass in this movie and the next movie than he is in the Arkham trilogy. Like it's so I don't know, that does feel a bit much. It's they're on the same level, I will say. Rating wise, I mean, there's really not much I would change with this movie. It's for me a true 7 out of 7. It's so good. It's so worth it. The voice acting's great. The action's great. The animation's great. The story's great. Like everything about it is so good, and I cannot wait to rewatch part 2 because it's even better. But yeah, that's my thoughts for Return of the Dark Knight Part 1. Sorry that I was upside down through the majority of this. I did not contemplate that my phone was gonna die this fast, but that's on me. So oh well. Bye bye.